Christmas is a time of joy, love, and happiness. But sometimes, even during the most festive season, darkness finds its way in. Tonight we'll explore 7 true stories that turned Christmas into a nightmare, stories of fires, blizzards, crashes, and tragedies that remind us that even on the happiest days, danger can strike. So gather around and listen closely. These Christmas horror stories will send chills down your spine. Number 1. The Christmas Eve Fire, New York City, 1911. It was Christmas Eve in 1911, and New York City was bustling with excitement. Families were shopping for last-minute gifts, the air was filled with joy, and the lights twinkled like stars. But for the people inside one busy department store, this night would become their worst nightmare. A fire suddenly broke out, spreading fast, and before anyone could react, the flames engulfed the entire building. Many people, mostly women and children, were trapped inside. They tried to escape, but the exits were locked by the store's management to prevent theft. As the fire grew stronger, the screams of those trapped inside echoed through the city streets, mixing with the festive Christmas carols. In less than an hour, 146 lives were lost, and what was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into a scene of devastation. This tragic event led to changes in safety laws, and to this day, the memories of that Christmas Eve fire still haunt New York City. Number 2. The Christmas Eve Train Crash, Indiana, 1917. On Christmas Eve in 1917, a train filled with soldiers returning home from World War I was making its way through a small town in Indiana. These brave men were excited to see their families, hoping to spend the holiday surrounded by love and warmth. But their journey came to a tragic end when their train collided with another in the darkness of the night. The crash was devastating. The impact was so intense that both trains were completely destroyed, and over 150 lives were lost in an instant. The screams of the victims could be heard for miles, and the small town was left in shock. Families who had been waiting at the station received the worst Christmas news imaginable. This tragic event reminds us that even during times of celebration, tragedy can strike when we least expect it. When celebrations turn to tragedy, what if a place that's supposed to bring happiness suddenly becomes a trap? It's a chilling reminder that danger can hide behind even the most joyful moments. Number 3. The Tangiwai Disaster, New Zealand, 1953. On Christmas Eve in 1953, a train carrying passengers traveling to celebrate Christmas derailed in Tangiwai, New Zealand, killing 151 people. A volcanic eruption on Mount Ruapehu had caused a massive lahar, volcanic mudflow, to wash out a railway bridge just before the train arrived. Unaware of the danger ahead, the locomotive and carriages plunged into the Wangahu River, and many passengers were unable to escape the fast-moving waters. Rescue efforts were hindered by the darkness and the powerful currents, leaving many trapped in the icy water. Families waiting for their loved ones never got the reunion they hoped for, and the tragedy of the Tangiwai disaster became a somber part of New Zealand's Christmas history, forever reminding the country of the power and unpredictability of nature. Number 4. The Rhodes Opera House Fire, Pennsylvania, 1908. On December 24, 1908, during a Christmas Eve celebration at the Rhodes Opera House in Boyertown, Pennsylvania, an unexpected horror unfolded. A kerosene lamp was accidentally knocked over, igniting the stage curtains, and in an instant, the flames began to spread throughout the building. Panic ensued as more than 170 people, many of them children, tried to escape, only to find the exits were blocked or too narrow. The fire consumed the building quickly, and the desperate cries of those trapped inside still echo in the memories of the town's older generations. This horrifying end to a night of celebration remains one of the deadliest theater fires in U.S. history and serves as a stark reminder that tragedy can strike when we least expect it. When joy meets sorrow, imagine the joy of expecting to see your loved ones on Christmas Eve, only to be met with heartbreak. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Number 5. The Christmas Blizzard, American Midwest, 1910. Christmas Day in 1910 started as a winter wonderland. Snowflakes danced through the air and families gathered around their fireplaces, sharing stories and laughter. But this peaceful scene quickly turned deadly when a massive blizzard struck the American Midwest. The storm was so powerful that it buried entire towns in snow, trapping people inside their homes. Roads were blocked, and the snow piled so high that houses and cars disappeared under its weight. More than 250 people lost their lives, many of them farmers and ranchers who were stranded without food or warmth. For days, the only sound was the howling wind, and it took weeks for rescuers to reach some of the affected areas. By then, many had already frozen to death. The Christmas blizzard of 1910 serves as a harsh reminder of nature's power, and how even on the happiest days, the forces of nature can bring tragedy. Number 6. The Lockerbie bombing, Scotland, 1988. On December 21st, 1988, just days before Christmas, Pan Am Flight 103 exploded over the town of Lockerbie, Scotland, killing all 259 passengers and crew on board, as well as 11 residents on the ground. The plane had been bombed in a terrorist attack, and the debris rained down over Lockerbie, destroying homes and bringing devastation to the community. Families around the world who were eagerly waiting for their loved ones to return for the holidays were instead plunged into grief. The Lockerbie bombing was one of the most tragic events to occur around Christmas, serving as a painful reminder that even during a season of peace and goodwill, evil can strike without warning. Number 7. The Christmas flood, Netherlands, 1717. On Christmas night in 1717, a devastating flood struck the coasts of the Netherlands, Germany, and Scandinavia. Known as the Christmas flood, this disaster was triggered by a violent storm that caused the North Sea to surge over the dikes and flood the land. The water levels rose rapidly, overwhelming villages and farms and drowning over 13,000 people. It was one of the deadliest floods in European history, and the aftermath left countless families homeless during what should have been a festive season. Entire villages were swept away, and many who sought refuge on their rooftops were washed away by the powerful currents. The Christmas flood of 1717 is a stark reminder of how unpredictable and deadly nature can be, even on a night meant for joy and celebration. These 7 Christmas horror stories remind us that even in the season of joy, love, and celebration, darkness can creep in. As we light up our Christmas trees and gather with our loved ones, let's remember those who faced these tragic events. Their stories remind us to be grateful for every moment we have and to never take the safety and happiness of the season for granted. If you found these stories chilling, make sure to like and subscribe for more true horror tales. And as you celebrate this holiday season, stay safe and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that really happened.